I'm gonna warn you now, this was ChatGPT's idea. I've tried 3 Zelda games, guys, I'm not a puzzle solver. I did not get far. But I've sent this to a die-hard Zelda fan, he says it's fine. This whole video is based on my trust in Felis from that one character AI stream you may recall. Link, PL12, generally good guy with an assignment from a deity that lasts all his lifetimes. While Link has no official Achilles heel that I'm aware of, I would assume that there's a whole bunch of people that would really like his triforce piece. Apparently, if you get all 3 together, wishes get granted, and unlike the Dragon Balls, there's only 3 pieces, so that's slightly less than half the work to get that wish. That being said, I did not put the removable flaw on the Triforce of Courage, because that does not seem quite right. Instead, I'm acting on the assumption that the Triforce can be extracted from Link with a proper magic check, sort of how Ben 10's Omnitrix can get yanked off him by Vilgax's technology check. The stats: young adventurer in a medieval fantasy world, good awareness is proper, like I said, he comes from something too puzzly for me. As to will, I don't see him losing his resolve over anything, and as to dodge, Link has dodged lasers. Link has dodged lasers. If there's any one thing that truly separates Link from a simple farmhand with an attitude, it is the Master Sword and its variants. Why does it have almost as much power as the sample rocket launcher? Because Link can take out a world threat with it, that's why. It's been emphasized to me that this thing is especially useful against evil, so extra damage against the Infernal, and he can do Meta Knight's Sword Beam. I chose to believe this thing's power to ward off evil can translate to nullifying curses, and it is stated to deflect light magic, which I've expanded to energy attacks in general so as to fit it into a world where people use more than magic, and making him a proper threat to Dr. Cortex. The Hylian shield is supposed to be indestructible. Nothing is indestructible. Let's just hit the magic 20 and call it a day. Link's a bomber, Clawshot allows him to try being Spider-Man, bow and arrow. I almost took another slew of alternate effects, but having recently refreshed myself on what a critical can do, I decided to leave it at variable descriptor. Ice arrows on getting a crit might suddenly have a snare effect, for example. Golden gauntlets, broken lift. Fire shield earrings. It was at this point I realized Link likes the removable flaw more than I do. And now we reached his world's equivalent of Chaos Emerald. Resistance to magic attacks. That was all I could find on his wiki. Not gonna lie, I'm a little disappointed. I mentioned earlier that I sent this sheet to a friend before sending it to you, and he said 3 words to me: max out cooking. I asked him why. He said Link can throw raw ingredients in a pot of boiling water and get a cake. I said okay. Animal empathy for aiming a bird at a beehive and riding horses. Contacts and connections. Zelda is a princess who probably has wealth advantage. And quick draw to quick swap between sword, bow, and bombs. Me personally, I like how this character sheet turned out in terms of power level and abilities. It fit nicely into your average astonishing adventure. For truly meeting other players halfway though, I propose either modernizing Hyrule, or otherwise just accepting that Freedom City is close enough to Hyrule that Link could realistically visit on horseback. I'd run that campaign just to hear that player describe how he leaves that horse tied to something outside of a tech company while he investigates inside, but that's because I like it when things don't go together and are forced to mesh.